My name's Christopher Scott, and I'm from Canada. I have a restaurant there and a gas station, convenience store, all in one property.
Okay.
And the COVID restrictions almost killed it.
Okay.
So I ended up saying no, and I opened against the law. And I'm going to court. I was put in jail. It's a very long story.
Yeah.
And now I started paying attention to some other things that are going on, and specifically what's going on with the farms and energy sectors and ranches and things like that, both in Canada and abroad. So when I saw the Dutch farmers standing up, and the government was flipping their tractors over with forklifts, I thought, well, I got to go and talk to these people that are standing up for themselves. So that's how I ended up here.
Okay.
And since I've got here, I've realized that it's number one, I don't think it's either a Canada or a Holland problem. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And the root cause to all of this seems to be the climate change agenda.
Yeah.
The and the ammonia and everything, right? So I think everything's all tied together. So I just want to talk to as many people as I can and get as much information and try and shed light on as much of this stuff so that we can have a chance of winning. So
yeah.
So of course your name came up because you were fighting against this. So do you want to maybe introduce yourself and just kind of give us an idea of who you are and what you're doing?
Okay, yeah. Now, my name is Jolanda Nooijen, and I'm a vegetable grower in the Netherlands, in the south of the Netherlands. We have about 500 hectare. I don't know how much acre it is, but 500 hectare. And we do eye salad, celery, pak choi. I don't know the English name.
Bok choy.
Pak choi, yeah, pak choi Shanghai. That's a small one. Mm-hmm. We have cherries, sweet cherries. It's 10 different vegetables. And normally we grow from May to November. We grow it in the Netherlands. And from November until May, we grow it in Spain together with other vegetable growers. We work together, and together we are like the same like in America. In America you have also vegetables growers, and they start in May in the middle, and they travel around America, and they have all the time the vegetables. We do also the same, but then in Europe. Normally, I don't say anything about politics. I don't care. I'm a grower, and I'm on my farm, and I like it here. It's very quiet.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, lots of work here. Over here, we work with 200 people. On this moment, we work with a lot of people from Ukraine. Last year, in the beginning of this year, we have no people to work over here. Normally, they come from Poland, and in Poland, there are not lots of people that want to go to the west of Europe. So we have got a very big problem. And in February, it starts the war in Ukraine, and in two weeks' time, there were about 80 to 100 people from Ukraine. They come to our company, and we have work all year with Ukrainian people. It was for us, the war is a big problem. For us, it was on the right time, because otherwise we have this year no people to harvest. On this moment, all our houses are full of people from Ukraine, because we can't send them back to the Ukraine. They have to stay here because they have no house in Ukraine. And in about 3 months back, there was a new law, and they said to me, Jolanda, the how you say stikstof? NO3?
Ammonia,
yeah. That's a big problem in the Netherlands on this moment. But wait until you get the seventh nitrate. I don't know the number of this one. Maybe Erika knows it. Nitrate.
Nitrogen.
Yeah, that one. They said that's a much bigger problem than the NO3. So I was waiting, and one moment the new law was coming to us, and they write down we have to grow from 15 April until 1 October, and normally we growing until the end of October with iceberg salad and celery and venkel and that sort of products. They grow to the end of November, and they said to us, you have to stop it on 1 October. So in one moment I was angry, real angry.
Yeah.
And that's about 20% of my company. That time, from 1 October until the end of November, it's about 20% of my company growth time. And I make a movie on my telephone in my garden, and I put it on internet. And in now about 5, 6, 7 days, 1.5 million people has saw my movie, and there were about 40,000 people. They have gedeeld,
Shared.
share it, yeah. So yeah, it was exploding. And
So
yeah.
you're a large producer. So I checked, and 500 hectares is about it's like 2,500 2,200 acres. That's a lot of farmland.
That's it. That's yeah. We are one of the bigger companies from the Netherlands. There are 2 or 3 big companies.
So
But,
how many kilograms of food would you estimate you produce in a year for the Netherlands?
ooh, how many? Yeah, iceberg. One iceberg is 500 gram, and we put 18 million iceberg plants in the ground. So you can say how much iceberg it is. But for the rest, I don't know, because fennel, it's 300 grams. Celery, it's about 400 to 700 grams. So that's very difficult. But how many kilograms it is, I don't know.
A lot.
Very much, a lot. Yeah.
You're feeding a lot of people.
Yeah. And
So
not only in the time that we are harvesting in the Netherlands from May to October, we don't harvest alone for the Netherlands. We also harvest for Spain and Italy, because from May until October it's too hot in that countries to produce vegetables. So on that moment we are produce for the south of Europe. And in the winter, the south of Europe is harvesting for the north of Europe. We all work together. And they said, yeah, but at 1 October we buy it in Spain. Yeah, that's nice. But in 1 October you have to plant on 1 August, and on 1 August it's in the south of Spain. It's about 40 degrees. That's much too hot. Too hot. Yeah.
Grow cactuses. That's it.
Yeah. Right.
So you feed millions of people, not just in the Netherlands, but all over Europe and maybe across the globe. You also employ hundreds of people. You help them to be able to feed themselves.
Yeah.
And you're helping people who are displaced by conflict in their country to find some stability and take care of themselves here in the Netherlands. So I would say what you're doing is very important. I don't think anyone could argue that. So I guess the question is, you say the government has come in with policies that tell you how you should be operating your farm, correct?
Yeah.
Now, do you know, has the government done, is this a Netherlands government thing, or is this coming down from the European Union to do with the climate impacts of agriculture?
That's a good question. I think it's a Dutch thing, and they think about calendar growing. we don't do on calendar growing. We are looking for outside. What's the weather? What's temperature, and then we grow. But they think we are growing with the calendar, and that's not true. And what I have talked to a lot of people, and on this moment I know that in the Netherlands, in the ministry, nobody knows anything about vegetables.
And that's why.
Yeah, that's why it's going wrong. There are no people in Den Haag do know anything about how we grow vegetables.
That's interesting, because we just had governments all across the globe implementing policies to do with health when the government has no idea anything about health.
Nothing.
So this isn't anything new. Now, I did do a little bit of looking into this, and it appears to me, at least with a little bit of digging, that what's happening in the Netherlands isn't necessarily what the Dutch government wants to do. It seems to me as though the Netherlands is trying to meet some targets set forth by the European Union, and the targets are, they're basically saying that between 70 and 80% of agriculture has to halt, has to stop in order to meet the global CO2 and nitrogen targets as set forth by the WEF.
Yeah.
So I've found out that what you're experiencing here and what we're experiencing in Canada, it's very similar. In Canada, they're about to roll out a policy that tells our farmers, very, very good farmers, by the way, probably because there's a lot of Dutch people there and they brought their farming practices to Canada. That's another story. But they're telling our farmers they need to reduce their use of ammonia-based fertilizer by 30% in order to meet these global climate agenda targets. So whether you're in Holland or in Canada, we both have the same problem here. And that problem is an outside influence telling us how to manage our individual countries to meet some arbitrary goals that an outside influence wants us to meet. And when you were describing this to me, the first thing I was wondering is, and you might be able to answer this because you've talked to your Minister of Agriculture, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you might be able to answer this. Has anybody actually done or asked the question, how is the government justifying the numbers that they're telling you you have to meet for targets? Where's the justification? Where's the reason behind this? Is this a science-based thing? Is it a politics-based thing? Why? No information.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that the last time when I make my movie, after 1 week, there were 3 people from the government. They were in my office, and I know that they have decided this new law on 2 onderzoeken. Hoe zeg ik onderzoek in het Engels? How do you say onderzoek?
Research.
2 researches.
Research.
Oh, studies.
Yeah. Research. I have there are 2 researchers, one in 1996 and one in 2017, based on one grain. Grain. It was one sort of grain, and that's only 2 researchers. And they said, okay, we know about that product. We know in the winter from 1 October until the end of the year, it takes 40 kilograms of nutrition out of the ground. So that's very good. We want that product on the field from 1 October until December. Then I asked the woman from the government, I asked, do you know how many nutrient my product, the celery and the fennel is taking out of the ground? No, we don't know. No, we don't know. So it's based on 2 researchers in 1996, 69, and in 2017. And that's all they know, not more.
So if we're talking about mineral depletion in the ground, there's, I would say that they could argue, well, if we use too much minerals and our plants aren't as healthy, then people will starve. But they're saying we're going to stop growing as much food and not considering that people could starve. So it's it's a poor argument. Do you do any kind of testing on your own soil to see the conditions? So you use, I'm going to assume that you use a rotating based farming practice to, so you don't take the same nutrients out of the ground every year, right?
Every year, every year again. And on this moment, every week. And from June, July, August, September, we take we do research every week.
So have you seen any kind of a problem?
Do we have seen any problem?
Like, have you noticed that certain nutrients are depleting and
no, we don't know how much nutrient is going down to the water. We don't know. We also I on this moment I know we have I don't know the number, but the number in Germany Germany, it's about 11 milligrams of nutrition in the water, in the river. And in Belgium, it's 4.2 milligrams of nutrition in the water. And when it comes into the Netherlands, then it has to go back to 2.3 milligrams.
So right now, you're talking about just specifically nitrogen.
Yeah. And on this, we live here. I live in the south, and our water, ja, hoe noem je het gebied? Waterschap A en Maas. That's from the most until Venlo, and from the border of Limburg until Den Bosch. That's the A en Maas. The A is a river, and the Maas is a big river. And between that, we have to go to the nitrate from 2.3. But when it comes in with the Maas, it comes in on 9, on the number of 9. And then they say to us, we are too high, we have to put it down. And all the farmers are guilty. Yeah, I don't understand it.
I must have, maybe I'm not understanding. Are you saying that the nitrate level coming in is 9, and the government tells you that it has to be 2.3, and it's the farmer's fault?
Yeah, that's what I say.
It's from Germany. So in Germany it's low, and then it goes up when it comes here.
That, it doesn't make any sense.
No, I know.
So what does the minister say about this?
Nothing. She said to me on this table here, she said to me, I only can tell you how it works and what we are going to do, but I can't tell you anything about the problem from the problem. I only can tell you, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, and that's all I can tell you.
I would say that it's probably important that both our countries' politicians figure this stuff out, so they know what's going on, so they know what policies to put in, because they're there. Their whole purpose, at least in Canada, I'm assuming in Holland, the purpose of the politicians is to make law that benefits the people of the country. And these laws that they're bringing in, they don't sound to me like they're benefiting the people of Holland. Is there, or are they? Is there any way that you think these policies could be beneficial? There must be. They must think it's going to be a benefit.
Do I know what benefits is? Explain. Can you explain?
So do you know of any beneficial results from the policies the government wants to put on farmers?
Right. I go to look for the word of benefit.
Voordelen.
Voordelen. Oh nee. Wat de voordelen zijn. Benefits.
Winst haal je eruit. Wat voor winst haal je eruit?
Nothing. The more nutrition you have in the ground, the better the plant is growing. Okay. Maybe we have too much nutrition, and then it's a problem for the water in the ground. Okay, it's possible, but anywhere it's a balance. And we have to look for the balance. And now they say we don't go to look for the balance, this we go to do.
So do you know what the damage that's caused to the water with too much nitrates? Do they tell you what?
No,
or
I don't know what the damage
have
is.
we seen a problem, I guess?
No. No.
Haven't seen a problem.
No.
So the people in Holland have been managing their land, their water, and their farms for how many years? 600 years?
Yeah.
And they've done a great job until now. They've fed the world, but all of a sudden now the government says you're not doing a good job and you need to change it.
Yeah. And nobody knows what the problem from nitraat is. Nobody knows.
So
But
what's the plan? Is it possible that maybe this isn't about nitrates, or it's not about ammonia, and maybe it's not about CO2? Has anybody maybe thought that?
Yeah,
could be the case?
maybe. I don't know. There are a lot of people, they say they want to make a big city here in the Netherlands, from Amsterdam until Düsseldorf. Maybe they want that, but I don't know. I don't know what they want to do. But all the people from Amsterdam until Düsseldorf, they have to eat. And the best ground, the most beautiful grounds, sand, it's from Denmark, north of Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, north of France. That's we have here when we go to look into in the field, and we go to look inside. We have about 60 until 1 meter of black ground, black sand. That's very good sand.
Well, it makes sense because it all used to be underwater. It was a swamp.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very frustrating. Is the government listening to you?
Is the government listening to us? Yeah, yes, no. That's about trust. I can say, yeah, they're listening to us because they have say in this moment, okay, we don't do it in 2023. We go to 2024, but maybe we have to wait now for a new law. But maybe in 1 year, it's a much bigger problem. We don't know. They don't talk to us. They say now in this moment, the zevende nitraatrichtlijn, they wait and it go to 2004, but 2024. But I don't know what is coming back in 2024. Maybe then on that moment they close every farm in the Netherlands. We don't know.
Well, if the goal is a 70 to 80% reduction in farming,
Yeah.
that might be the case. So what are the farmers doing? What's the plan? Do the farmers have a plan going forward to try and stop this?
No, because when they don't communicate, they don't have a communication with us, we can't react. And maybe in 4 months there's a new law, and on that moment it's yeah, they finish everything. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't trust the government.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Maybe since we don't know what the government's going to do, maybe it's time we get organized and we start doing our own research and getting our own answers, so that when the government tries to do these things to us, we say, no, here's the reality, here's the research.
Yeah.
And unless you can refute this, then leave our farms alone.
I have research. I have here from spoon to the field. It's with the University of Wageningen, and we make on this moment. I make a lot of research on the fields, and so I have papers to see. Let them see. I do this, and these are the results. And I do this with my own company on this moment. About 15 years back, we have the productschap tuinbouw. There was a group from in the Hague, from the vegetables. But 15 years back, we finished that organization. 15 years back, that organization was doing all the research. Now we don't have that organization anymore. And now we have to do it on our own. And my company is big enough to make the research with the University of Wageningen. But a small company and a small vegetable group, they can do the research. It's too expensive.
Is it possible for all the farmers to maybe start speaking, communicating to each other and get involved in the research together, form a group together?
Yeah, there's now more people from ZLTO, LTO, LLTB. They are talking together and they want to make research, but they need money, and then every farmer has to put money in the research, and that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of farmers in the Netherlands. I think about 30% of the farmers in Netherlands, they want to quit. They are old. They are not happy anymore with the farm. But that's natural when they want to stop, but not with law.
So who replaces the farmers that want to quit? Do people buy farms or start farming, or is it more of a family thing?
The most of the farms in the Netherlands are family companies. And on this moment, the big problem is when you are going to quit, and you do it together with the governments. Yeah, there's a new law. They said when you are quit as a farmer, you never can start again as farmer in your whole life.
What?
Yeah. So we have in the Netherlands, we have, how do you say it? You have also, you have pedophile, and they can do beroepsverbod. Beroepsverbod. What's the other name from in English name? Beroepsverbod?
But you cannot work in that branch again.
Yeah. And normally you only have it with pedophile. The pedophile can't work with children.
Yeah, if you're a pedophile, you can't work with children.
Yeah. So they're imposing the same.
And farmers can't do it
on
anymore.
farmers.
Pedophile can do anything, and farmers.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, it's
So,
crazy.
You know, I'm getting the impression that this is less about the environment and more about getting rid of farms.
Yeah.
And I've heard the same thing from dairy farmers. You know, the government's telling them they have to make these changes that are very expensive. They can't do it.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, well, if you can't afford it, we'll buy your farm.
Yeah.
And then they sell the farm, and the government tears the farm down and puts it back to nature in the name of biodiversity. Yeah. And knowing what you said about this big city, there's a conspiracy that our governments want farms gone, less people, and all in one city. Yeah. And all of these things point towards that, but I'm trying not to sound conspiratorial, but it's getting more and more difficult the more information I get. Yeah.
That's the same. I didn't understand in June, July, there was a big demonstration in the Netherlands, and it was in Stroe, a very small place in the neighborhood of Utrecht. And I thought, why all the farmers driving to Stroe? After 3 months, I understand it, because it's a farm about 27 hectare of ground. There were all the farmers. And now, on this moment, the city, Stroe, want to buy that farmland to make a new city. And that's why the farmers going to Stroe. Because we never heard about the village Stroe in the past. And now everybody knows the name Stroe. But they want to build to make their 25,000 houses, new houses.
Wow. I really hope that the Dutch people and the Frisians, I hope that they really pay attention to this and start demanding some answers and finding out where these policies are coming from, because this sounds exactly like what the conspiracy people said was going to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a WEF believer, but the last 3-4 months, a lot of people have sent me messages from with the Facebook, and they said to me, "Oh, you have to look at this, you have to look at this, you have to look at that." But on this moment, I think, oh my God, maybe they have right.
Well, I've been kind of down this road for a while, and I've come to realize that a lot of these bad policies, it doesn't matter what country you're in, they all come from one place. And all trails lead back to the World Economic Forum and actually the United Nations and their goal for sustainable development. And it's all outlined in a document called Agenda 2030. And we thought it was a conspiracy before, but now it's here, and these things are coming. And maybe we have to be less concerned about people thinking we're, what do you call it, vappies, and more concerned about losing our farms and our homes and our jobs, because I'm fairly certain that's where we're going. So I'm glad to see people are standing up and speaking out, especially people like you who, you're taking a professional approach, you're doing your own research, you're talking to the government, you're having conversations. That's so important. And I think if more people in both our countries do this more, we have a very good chance of stopping them from doing what they're doing, because both of our countries, we're free. We're free men and free women. And none of these people can do any of these things to us or take our land or take our property unless we allow them to.
Yeah.
So. Oh, well, that gives me so much more to think about. And there's only a couple minutes left on the Zoom call here. So I guess we'll just wrap it up. Is there anything, do you have any questions for me, or is anything you want to know or make comments on?
No, as the only thing that I now in my head is there are lots of people, a lot of problems in the Netherlands, and in August it was almost the time to put down all the politics in Den Haag. I waiting for the moment that everything in the Netherlands is exploding, and Den Haag, the VVD, CDA, D66, Christian Union blow away. And it's now time for a new government. It's really time for a new government.
Well, certainly I would agree, unless one of them stands up and does the right thing.
Yeah.
And all bets are off, right?
Yeah, I wait for the right moment. And when the moment is there, I'm going to try it. But yeah. Then they have to say what you want to go to do.
Exactly.
And on this moment, it's very quiet in Den Haag, because they know when they do this wrong, the Netherlands will explode.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get to that. I hope there's a solution.
Yeah.
For both our countries.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. And I don't know, I probably won't be able to get down there this trip, but maybe another trip I'll come down and visit and see your farm. I think that would be
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.